for me, the easiest way to kind of explain or define commitment in an individual's life is as simple as diet and exercise.
Yeah.
You know, something like that, diet and exercise. And when we think commitment, we sometimes will think about discipline too. And I love this line. I had to highlight it right now. Discipline is not a substitute for motivation. It could only stand in for enthusiasm.
You say that. You say it differently, but you say that all the time.
How many times have I said that in the past couple months?
Yeah, on the last podcast.
Yeah, I've talked about that a lot. But commitment, you know, that diet and exercise, you know, being committed to not turning your body into a human garbage can, to, you know, ingesting the right foods so that you're not susceptible to germ sickness as much as the unhealthy person is.
Right.
And then, you know, as far as the exercise goes, you know, you got to think that you're doing that not just for yourself, but for your loved ones too, because you got to think self-preservation, longevity. And like I tell my kids too, strong people are harder to kill.
Well, you know, I like what he said here. He says, you know, much of what we do every day is the product of habit rather than discipline or conscious choice. In other words, we're on autopilot.
Right. Autopilot.
And that doesn't take commitment.
Right.
You don't have to re-up every day.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You should be signing it. You should probably, people say, you know, write out your goals every day. Yep. No, you should do is just keep printing copies of the same contract with yourself.
Yeah, right.
I just put out a blank one with a blank signature line, and you sign every day. This is my commitment. That's what you should do. Well, yes, you should have a commitment contract page that you make yourself. Write it out for you. Customize it to you.
Yep.
My commitment is to be this, to be this, to do this, to be this to my family, and keep this attitude, and grow here and this, and to keep my body, and, you know, almost Boy Scout oath kind of thing. Right. And then put a blank signature, and just keep putting copies of that page in front of you every morning, and let them you sign. I'm re-upping for another day, another 24 hours, because it only lasts 24 hours.
Yep. So it's funny, you know, the autopilot. You know, habit rather than discipline or conscious choice. And I was saying diet and exercise. Yeah. For those who have a crap diet and they don't exercise, I always tell them you have to stick with that for 3 months, because in 3 months, what happens is results that are going to stick, and it becomes a new normal, a way of life. Right. So autopilot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and so again, because it doesn't require commitment.
Right.
It doesn't require commitment to do things that are just habitual. So like muscle confusion, we need to confuse life a little bit in a way that stimulates growth. Isn't that the objective, right? The confusion is to stimulate the body, because the body will adapt, and you're just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. So, commitment, man, marriage, kids, for me now, dogs.
Right.
I tell you what, just as a side note, dude, I find myself now thinking I can point out people who don't deserve the dogs that they have. When I know what it took to invest in my German Shepherds, I didn't have to, you know, but it was a choice that I made, and I learned about what they needed. And so it's kind of like at the level of kids in the sense of structuring their life and taking care of their needs and all this sort of stuff. That takes commitment. I had to get out to your house today, got here about 10:30. You're about an hour and a half away, and I got things to take care of before I leave, but I've got to get 2 dogs to the park for a long walk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to let me just take it easy this morning. No, I've got to, because they're expecting it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And I don't want to.
They're looking forward to your commitment, bro.
They're looking forward to that commitment, yeah. So, but but what made it easy was that it's kind of habitual.
Yep, it's habitual. Yeah, it's autopilot.
So, so that makes it easy to do it. But the commitment was that, no, I committed to it, so I'm going to go out and do that and make sure I can check that off the list.